night and it's late as shit. But I'm here for my workout. Thinking about doing a full body today, but starting off with arms. Had to be out late for a work thing. Not necessarily for work, but a work party. And while they did give me, or while I did order a 20-ounce steak and stuff, I still didn't want to be out so late. I'd much rather have been able to get home early, but it is what it is. It was a nice dinner though, so I shouldn't complain. For my first exercise, I'm doing alternate tricep pushdowns. I'm going to superset that with kettlebell curls. This is my third set, and yeah, just really trying to feel a stretch, get a good pump. I already walked backwards for about 30 minutes, 22 minutes as a warm-up. Then started doing this. As usual, supersetting bis and tris, get a good pump. So I ate a twice baked potato and a lot of like fatty meat, and usually I get good pumps after that, so we'll see how that goes. Gonna do so that was 33 sets. I'm gonna do about 7 to 10. Then we'll see what happens after that. So at work, I actually had a shot of bourbon, and it's my first time drinking after a while. And although it was just one shot, I feel like there's some sort of weird residual effect that it's having on me. In a weird way, I think it's making the pump better. There's actually a clip from like an Arnold bodybuilding movie from like 1980. I think it's Total Rebuild, where he's having a shot of something backstage, and it might have been just for a joke, but he talks about his veins popping when he has a shot of alcohol. When I'm doing this, I'm just focusing on getting as much blood into the tricep as possible. I'm going really light. I'm not even counting the reps. I'm pretty sure I'm over 30, 40 reps. But I'm just going by feel. Just keep going till I hit failure. And then go into the curls, keep the pump alive. Focus on keeping it straight down. This particular set, I'm focusing on my outer bicep, so I'm coming in at an angle, almost like if I'm putting food in my mouth. There was this bodybuilder, Tony Freeman. I don't know if he's probably still alive, but he would talk about bringing dumbbells or the weight in the angle at which you would be putting food in your mouth, and that being some sort of optimal angle. That was set 6, another 4 sets of that. It's like 11:24, and still it's like the people that I usually see. 2 more sets, yeah. It's like people that I usually see when I come around the same time at 7 are here right now, and it's like, are y'all on the same schedule as I am? Did you guys have to attend the same things I had to attend? It's weird that no matter what time I show up, there's always people that I've seen at earlier times. And it's always like, oh, you're here late. Oh yeah, what about you? Anyway, thought it was a little interesting. With the triceps, I'm really just trying to, I don't know, I'm not even counting. I don't know how many sets I've done. This is probably 9 or 10. So I'm gonna do one more after this. Playing around with tempos, just making sure that the reps are equal between the sides, and getting 10 reps of curls on each set. I really do feel like all the food's given me a good pump. I feel like I look massive, or at least more massive in the mirror than I did yesterday. Or maybe I'm just fatter. Hopefully it's not fat, in which case I'll be depressed. This is my 4th set of this. Then I'm gonna move in. After this, I'm gonna move to something different. And the goal here is to not hit failure on the presses, but to get that use of that feeling of throwing something forward. Pretty much just throwing it forward and yanking it back. Here you're just swinging side to side. Trying to use the obliques and your hips to drive the momentum from side to side. And here, work a combination of stabilizing muscles, shoulders, arms. And get some staggered reps in. Yeah, that was set 4. Time for something different. So for my next movement, I'm doing a staggered kind of heels elevated squat with the landmine. Focusing not so much on the weight of it, but just to get the movement. It's pretty late and I don't really feel like going heavy. And I don't want to push there's this idiom, push the something. And I don't want to do that and do something silly. Instead, I just want to get the blood flowing, kind of use weights as cardio, not using any weight that's super taxing to the system, but rather light enough to where I can perform these movements comfortably, but do challenging movements to where there's still a lot going on. So for example, there that was staggered and one arm at a time, and here I'm going to do one arm overhead kettlebell squats with my heels elevated. Trying to make the core work a lot, improve my balance, improve ambidextrousness, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, this is my second exercise. I'm just gonna it's getting late, but I know I'm gonna feel worse if I don't get my workout done. Anyway, 2 more sets of this and we'll see. So after doing about 4 sets of the previous circuit, I kind of want to keep doing the kettlebell squats, but I'm going to do a slight variation of this, where I'm going to keep it pressed overhead and step underneath it and go close toe position or whatever, and then come down in a squat like that. Really emphasizing the knees over toes position. And having the landmine offset forces the core to be involved too. Going for 10 each side. When I'm at the bottom, kind of trying to get my butt to touch my heels, and at this point I feel like a lot of stretch around the knee area, and I'm trying to keep my weight on my big toe while pressing up. And I think keeping it closer kind of gets a little bit more stretch, at least for me. And like the VMO. And then I'm supersetting that with the kettlebell version of the same thing. So, right arm goes up and squat on your toes. Switch hands. It's okay if you lose your balance. Get it back. Anyway, so that was my second set of that. I'm gonna do 2 more sets of that, and then we'll see. And while on the first set I went narrow stance, you can play around with your feet placement, so you can go wide or even go staggered. But for the sake of this, I'm just gonna do wide. And even with that, you can do toes pointed in, pointed out. Just get really comfortable bouncing around on your knee at different angles, and use a light enough resistance to where your joints can handle it. And then keep trying to burn them out with the kettlebell squats. So this time, to have a little variation, I'm going cannonball grip. Switch sides. Really good for balance and stuff too. And if you lose balance, just catch yourself and keep going. Or use assistance, something to hold yourself by. I'm gonna finish off my legs with seated good mornings, but with one hand at a time. Going for 8 to 10 reps each hand. And doing it one arm at a time, the biggest thing I'm looking to do is to focus on the stretch of one lat at a time. I find that I'm not able to engage the muscles that I want to engage. Well, in a two-handed cable good mornings, it does feel good, but this is just for a little bit more isolation, so that I can focus more on some areas that I can't in the bilateral or both hands at the same time variation of this movement. I'm focusing on pushing my ass out and having my chest kind of touch the bench. That was my second set. I'm gonna do about 2 more sets of that, and then I want to do an upper body movement. Alright, I'm finishing today off with some ATG Split Squats with like holding it in one arm or holding a dumbbell in one arm or a kettlebell. I need to sleep. It's so late, so tired, but you have to get a workout and a good workout, not just like, oh, I made it to the gym, woohoo, look at me. No, even if you come in late, get your good workout in. Like Goggins says, don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. So, I want to keep going until I feel like I've actually given it my best effort for today. Doing 5 each side, 3 to 4, so that was the first set. We'll do 2 more sets at least, maybe a third. And after that, I'm headed out. The last bus, I think, is at like 1:30, and I don't want to miss it. So yeah, that's all for tonight, folks. See you tomorrow.